77 PAL middleweight champion. 1978 he turned pro with yours truly. Rick fought for me as his training manager for 8 years. He had an outstanding record as a pro. Fought on national television numerous times, 15 wins, 12 knockouts. And one thing I can always say about Rick, through the 6 years that we were together, he was the easiest fighter I ever encountered to train, to manage. Part of that, I'm sure, has to do with the fact that he had tremendous family support. And his wife, Chris, deserves as much credit for him staying in boxing and being successful, because she did also whatever was necessary for him to train and fight. He made it into the Ring magazine as the prospect of the year. Please welcome my guy, my fighter, to the Summit County Boxing Hall of Fame, Rick Noggle.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the fellow inductees of the 2014 class. And then I want to say thank you to God, who gives us all our abilities and talents. I'd also like to thank the Hall of Fame for honoring me in this induction, and Russell and Rocky for all the help they've given me. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks a lot, Rob. I have to thank a few people along the line here, so bear with me, please. You don't do this by yourself. These people will all help me one way or another. First off, I got to start out by mentioning my cousin Sam Kelly. If you could, please stand up there, Sam. He's the one that we started this. We went down to the Canton Police Boys Club and entered the Golden Gloves together. Proceeded to beat the crap out of each other for the next few years, but I guess he was smarter than me. He got out. Then I have to thank my brother Steve and Jim Ritzer. If you two would stand up, please. When I was working for my dad, I needed a lot of time off to go to the sites and face that to let me off to go train or go to the tournaments, whatever the case. I do appreciate it all these years later. It was a long time ago. Next, I got to mention some names that a lot of you probably won't know. Some of you will. I know Sammy knows them all. These are my first trainers who are all deceased. First was Amos Talbert, George Milnes, and Willie Harris. They were the first trainers at the Canton Police Boys Club that helped us guys out as two little white boys that couldn't fight. They must have did something right. Right, Russell? Right, Rocky? Yeah. No, and these guys taught me a lot. I owe them a lot in my life. You know, they were good inspirations. Next, I got to name a few referees and judges along the way that helped me. Chris Pappas. Joe Gonzalez, Rolf Miller, and then Peter Rademacher. He prepped a couple of my fights. They told me he never stopped fights. You know, I'll never forget I was fighting up at the Akron Armory. Tommy Sacco from Alliance, you guys probably remember, a real tough kid. He liked to pull the Jake LaMotta thing where he'd stand on the ropes and let you beat on him. And I was more obliged to do that because I like to hurt people back then. And I was beating this guy, brother, you know I can punch. And finally I says, Pete, are you gonna let me kill this guy? And he finally stopped in the 4th round and stopped the fight. So I sort of give him thanks for that because I don't want that on my yeah, now I've got what I call my Clevelanders. These are the Golden Glove officials from out of Cleveland, affiliated with the old AAU, and you guys know what I'm talking about. First of all, I'd like to thank a gentleman by the name of John Nagy, who was Mr. Golden Gloves in Cleveland. Gino attested that. Mr. Nagy went to bat for me on more than one occasion. He really believed in me and he helped me, and I sure appreciate all the help and support he gave me. Along with a gentleman named George Whitbread, who worked for John at City Hall. Next, I want to mention the name of Wiley Ferrier. And these next guys are coaches for the Cleveland team. I represented them 4 times. Sammy DeRico, Pedro Tomez, Clinton Martin, and then of course Gene Glenn. Gene's helped me a lot. I do appreciate all your help, Gene. Thank you. Okay, I gotta mention a few, actually these would be sparring partners. It would be Sam Kelly. I had so much fun because I outweighed him by about 30 pounds. Thanks, Sammy. It was nice beating you little guys up. Hey, he was only a bantamweight. I was a waterweight, so that 30 pounds came in handy, man. It didn't affect him much. Then I want to mention Ronnie Harris. Ronnie was a big inspiration to me. He was like 5-time national champion. He won the gold medal in 1968, and he was really somebody to look up to, and I had the joy of getting my butt beat by him a lot. But Ronnie helped me a lot too. Marion Connor, Paulo Carapides, late Paul Ramos, and the late great Mike Dokes. I miss them both a lot. Good people. I also need to mention and thank Bishop Gerald Evans. He gave the benediction tonight. My old friend. Jerry worked in the corners of my biggest fights, and I appreciate it, Jerry. Thank you so much. To this day, he still helps me when we have kids that need working with, and I appreciate that also, Jerry. He gets me motivated, gets me back into the gym. Thanks, Jerry. I really appreciate that. I want to be in the gym for the rest of my life. I've only been in it for the last 45 years. So thanks again, Jerry. Okay, which brings me to another old friend. This gentleman I left, Frank Luca. When I decided to turn pro, I realized Frank was the guy I wanted in my corner. We achieved a lot through the years. Frank did give me fights on national TV early in my career, and I appreciate that. Frank, that I used to tell people, Ronald Reagan see me fight last week. So did Farrah Fawcett. Everybody's teasing me, so I shut him up real quick. Frank also gave me the opportunity to challenge some of the top fighters in the world, and I appreciate that too. And thanks to Frank, I also had the opportunity to fight for MAPS, which stands for Muhammad Ali Professional Sports. Thanks, Frank. And I got to meet Ali, which he was still in the game back then, a long time ago. Actually, he was in my corner when I fought down the riverfront, Coliseum. Yeah, right down in Cincinnati. Then we were out, and we've been all over the country together, all on the up and up, of course. But when we were out in Vegas, I got a chance to meet Roberto Duran, former middleweight champion, Vito Antuofermo. Also, I've had the opportunity to meet George Foreman, Chris and Angelo Dundee, Lou Bizarro, Larry Holmes. And when I had one of my biggest fights, Frank got one of the biggest names in boxing to work my corner, Lou Viscuzzi. A lot of you guys won't know who he is, but he was one of the top men in the business at that time. Yeah, we had Bob Foster. I mean, this guy was top shelf, and he was good man. Also through Frank, I had a chance to meet Donna and Carl King, which, you know, they're known in the business. You guys all know them. A lot of these people might not know them. The list goes on, but you know, we're all getting tired of hearing this old punchy guys. And Frank, we didn't get to achieve, you know, the ultimate goal, which is the world title. However, it was a great time, full of a lot of memories. And I want to say thank you and I love you. I just want to, I guess I saved the best for last. My girls. I want to thank my daughters. And would you two mind stand up with my hand? My daughters, who I truly thought would be my sons, would follow Dad's footsteps. Didn't happen. You know, I was the only one in the family with girls. I got 9 nephews. The good Lord knew what he was doing. Because, you know, if they'd have been a boy, they would have wanted to play the piano. I just says, you're going to get in there and fight. So I thank the Lord for them. I've been blessed. I wouldn't trade my daughters for all the boys or fighters in the world. I love you both. You both blessed me with grandchildren, my love. Thank you so much. And then, moving along, bring me to my rock. They've already mentioned her, so I guess that's it. No. Chris, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've been with me from the beginning. I want to thank you for all your sacrifices. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being such a great mother and a great wife. I have been truly blessed. And once again, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank all my cousins, my coworkers. I want to thank you too, Mike. If you want to take a look at the back of that program, see the work that Mike did. Thank you. Beautiful. We got a page on the back. You did a great job. I want to thank Tom for coming. Jim Xavier, all my buddies, Eddie. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you all. God bless you. Let's all go home. Good night.
We certainly want to thank all of you for being here, but it would be remiss if we didn't mention what Russell Dossie and his team have done. So to close the evening, please, Russell, come back up with your staff and your crew and close it out.
Well, I feel kind of like an idiot up here when I first came up here and was